The distant hum of street lights buzzed overhead as your shoes tapped softly against the cracked pavement of the quiet alley. The sky had long turned navy littered with faded stars half hidden by city smog. You were still in your school uniform, the blazer slightly wrinkled, socks loosened from the day's rush, and your hair pulled into a lazy ponytail after hours of laughter with your best friend Janhi. Your phone was pressed to your ear as you turned a corner entering a narrow passageway you used hundreds of times before. Your mother's voice spluttered through the speaker, tinted with concern. Ryan, it's late. Why didn't you just stay at Junhee's house tonight? Your mom Mina asked. You could hear clattering in the background, probably her washing dishes while talking to you. You adjusted your bag and laughed lightly, trying to sound casual. Oh ma, come on, it's not that late. I have walked this way home like forever. I'll be there in 10 minutes, promise. But it's dark, and you know how I feel about those alleys. What if anything happens, I'll scream so loud the ghost will run away. You joke, trying to ease her worry. I'm fine, seriously. She sighed heavily. Alright, just call me once you are near home. And don't take that shortcut near the old bookstore. Got it. Love you. Love you too, baby. The call ended and silence folded around you like a thick blanket. No crickets, no wind, just the faint flicker of a faulty street lamp above you and the smell of damp concrete lingering in the air. You tucked your phone away, glancing around. The alley stretched ahead, long and shadowed, lined with broken fences and graffiti painted walls. A shiver danced down your spine, but you brushed it off. You were 16, brave, or at least you wanted to be. You tightened your grip on the strap of your bag and picked up your pace until it happened. A sharp sting, like the prick of a bee but deeper burning, pierced the side of your neck. Ah! Your hand flew up instinctively to touch the spot, but your legs buckled under you almost instantly. The world blurred, the walls twisted. Your body felt heavy, like someone had tied invisible ropes around your limbs and began dragging you underwater. Your heart started to pound, a distant thud in your ears. What the? You gasped, blinking rapidly. The alley spun like a carousel on fire. You tried to take a step back, but the ground tilted and your knees hit the cold pavement. Your fingers scrubbed against gravel. Your vision dimmed. You could hear footsteps, slow, deliberate, approaching from behind. You couldn't see anything, just the outline of shadows swallowing each other. No, someone help. You tried to scream, but your voice slurred like you were underwater. Your mouth moved, but barely any sound escaped. Everything was muffled. The sound of your own heartbeat faded. The last thing you saw, just before the world turned completely black, was a gloved hand reaching towards you. And then darkness, complete. You stirred awake to the sound of muffled cries. Your head pounded, vision blurry, as you slowly blinked the world into focus. The floor beneath you was cold, rough, cement, damp in places. You realized you were still wearing your school uniform. A dull ache throbbed at the side of your neck, right where you had felt that sting before everything went black. Where am I? Your voice come out cracked, barely a whisper. You pushed yourself up with trembling legs, your eyes darting around the room. The walls were bare concrete, stained with time and darkness. A single flickering light bulb hung from the ceiling, casting eerie shadows across the room. And then you saw them, girls, dozens of them. Some of your age, some older, and some heartbreakingly young. Most sat huddled in corners, eyes wide with terror. A few whispered to each other, others silently cried. You stood up, stumbling a little, and clutched your arms around yourself as fear crept into your bones. My phone, you muttered, patting your pockets. My bag, where's my bag? Gone. Panic began to claw at your chest. Oma, you called out, voice raising with desperation. Oma, can you hear me? No response, just the quiet sniffles of frightened girls. Suddenly, the heavy metal door creaked open. You froze. A man stepped inside, graying hair, expensive coat, his presence commanding and terrifying. Two men in black followed him, each carrying a stack of food trays. He didn't look at anyone in particular. He just smiled, the kind of smile that doesn't reach the eyes, the kind that makes your blood run cold. One of the girls near the front, her voice trembling, stood up shakily and asked, "Why are you keeping us here? What do you want from us?" The man chuckled darkly, his eyes scanning the room like a predator seizing a prey. "I own this place," he said smoothly. His tone was calm in a way that made it worse. "You are all here because you were chosen, special and valuable people out there." He waved a hand vaguely. "Rich, powerful ones, they pay well for girls like you." A hush fell over the room. You felt your knees give out as you dropped to the floor, hands clutching your uniform skirt tightly. "No, no, no," you repeated, shaking your head violently. "This can't be happening." "This is a mistake. I'm just a student. I was just going home. I was just." Your voice cracked mid sentence. "Oma," you whimpered, tears rolling down your cheeks as you buried your face in your hands. "Please come and get me, please." The man's voice echoed behind the sobs of others. "Eat your food, you'll need the strength. We begin tomorrow." You didn't understand what he meant. You didn't want to. Your body shook as you pulled yourself into a corner, tucking your knees into your chest, trying to make yourself smaller, invisible, forgotten. The plate of food placed in front of you remained untouched. Everything felt like a nightmare, a dark, twisted version of your reality. Just hours ago, you had been laughing with Junhei, joking about homework and snacks and weekend plans. Now your world has shattered into something unrecognizable. That night you didn't sleep, none of you did. All you could do was pray someone would come, that someone still knew you were missing, that someone still loved you enough. You could smell rust and mold in the air, that metallic mix of blood, sweat, and filth clinging to your lungs. It had been 2 days since they locked all of you in that basement. 2 days of no light, 2 days of silent sobbing, 2 days of peeling walls, rats crawling over bare feet, and that one flickering light bulb swinging from the ceiling, buzzing like it was counting down your life. You were still in your school uniform. The white shirt is now yellowed with grime. Your skirt had a rip across the side. You tied your sweater or blazer around your waist to cover your legs. It didn't matter. You knew they saw through it. No one told you what day it was. No one said your name. They only showed food through a flap in the iron door. Cold rice, sometimes nothing at all. You sat against the farthest wall, arms wrapped around your knees, watching a group of older girls whispering by the stairs. Everyone was afraid, but no one said it. It was heavy in the air, so heavy you felt like it was pressing on your ribs, on your chest, on your thoughts. Then the silence broke. Footsteps. The cracking sound of the heavy lock twisting echoed louder than a scream. Every girl in the room jerked to attention. You could hear the scuffle of sandals. Someone whimpered, and then the door slammed open. He entered. Min Seok-ho. Tall, immaculately dressed, his crisp navy blazer is untouched by dust. His shoes didn't even have a scratch. His face was blank, jaw tight. jaw-tight expression unreadable, but it was his eyes that made your heart stop. Empty, cold, practiced. Behind him, five guards stepped inside, men in black, built like bulls. They carried tasers, ropes, batons. Not a single one looked kind. You had your rest, it's time. He said, his tone was flat as if reading instructions. No one moved, not out of defiance but out of sheer fear. Goal 1 said, who was sitting near the wall, her voice trembling. Where are you taking us? Sioko didn't answer. He motioned with two fingers. One of the guards marched forward and grabbed the girl by the hair. She screamed, no, let go of me. Slap. Her face twisted with the force. She dropped to her knees, coughing. Shut the F up, he said, growling. Your hand flew to your mouth. Your heart felt like it had dropped to your stomach. You wanted to help, you wanted to scream, but you couldn't even move your legs. This isn't real, this isn't real, you whispered to yourself. The other girls began backing away, but it was no use. The guards spread out, grabbing, yanking, slapping, shoving. One by one, they dragged everyone towards the door. Please, I'm just a college student. My parents will pay anything, anything. Please don't do this, she said, sobbing. They won't pay. They already think you're dead, he said calmly. That shut her up. One of the guards kicked open the back door. The daylight that poured in was blinding after 2 days of darkness, and then you saw it, the truck. A steel monster, large, caged in the black bag, bolted from the outside. It inside was barely visible through the grates. You could hear someone crying inside, girls already taken, already packed like luggage. Your knees buckled, a guard pointed at you. Little one, move. You didn't. Your body refused until he walked over and grabbed your arms so tightly it felt like your skin might tear. You screamed, no, please, please don't take me. I didn't do anything. I'm only 16. That guard laughed bitterly. Then you'll sell for double. You kicked, fought, scratched at his wrist. But the other girls had tried that too, and all it got them were bruises. You were no different, Sioko said to the guards. If they resist, slap them. If they scream, gag them. We don't have time. Crack. Your head whipped to the side. The taste of blood filled your mouth. Your cheek burned like fire. Your body stopped fighting. He shoved you towards the truck. You stumbled forward, tears falling freely now, mixing with the dirt on your face. No one helped. Everyone was trying to survive. As you reached the truck, a metal step stabbed into your shin. You fell forward onto the rusted floor. A girl inside caught your arm, helped you sit up. You looked around. All the girls are already inside. Their eyes are wide, red, hollow. Some are clutching their knees, some staring straight ahead like they had already left their bodies behind. Don't fight, don't talk, just breathe. It's the only thing we can do right now, she said softly, whispering. You nodded, but your heart wouldn't stop racing. One by one, more girls were loaded in. Some unconscious, some gagged. When the last one was inside, the guard locked the door with a steel bar. You felt the entire truck rattle. The engine started. Sioko's voice could still be heard through the thin slits of air. Take them to port 7. They will be sorted by nightfall. I'm falling behind, he said to his men. And the small ones, the guard said, laughing quietly. They will sell well. Clean all up first, he said without emotion, and then darkness. As the truck began to move, you sat there with your back against the cage wall, staring at the locked doors. And for the first time in your 16 years of life, you stopped hoping anyone was coming for you, because in that moment you knew you had already been sold. The truck rattled down the desolate road, its tires groaning against the gravel as if even the earth was protesting what it carried. It was the dead of night. The moon hung low behind thick, shifting clouds, and both sides of the road were swallowed by a dense black forest. Shadows stretched like claws across the pavement, and silence regained except for the occasional murmur of terrified gold huddled together inside the cage truck. You hadn't spoken in hours, curled in the corner, knees to your chest, your fingers pressed tightly against your ears, trying to drown out the panic. You rocked slightly, backed and forth, whispering the same thing over and over to yourself like a broken prayer. It's just a nightmare. I'll wake up. I'll wake up. Amma's gonna come, you said, muttering under your breath. But she never did. No one ever did, until screech. The truck jolted violently. A shriek of metal rang in your ear as the brakes screamed and the entire vehicle came to a halt. Girls cried out. Some fell. You held your breath, heart punching your chest, your fingers tightening around your ears. The driver cursed loud enough for you to hear him from the front cabin. What the hell? Who the F? Then came another voice, deeper, angry. Min Seok-ho. You didn't need to see him to know he was fuming. You felt it in your bones. The back doors remained locked, but the truck suddenly felt suffocating. Tension seeped in through the cracks like poisonous gas. Outside the night was no longer silent. There was engines running. Three black cars were parked in the middle of the road, blocking the truck completely. Their headlights cast long beams through the mist, illuminating the fog like a battlefield, and behind the truck a fourth car had pulled up. Seok-ho stepped out, spitting curses under his breath, rage pulsing in every stomp. F bastard, only one man would dare to show his face like this, he said, growling. He marched towards the front, jaw clenched, until he saw him. There he was, laying across the hood of the middle car, legs crossed, hands behind his head, dressed in sleek black like the night itself. John Jungkook. Beside him stood a few of his personal guards, guns in holsters, calm but deadly. One of them, Minho, his longtime best friend, stood tall, arm crossed, a faint smirk playing on his lip. Seok-ho's face twisted in disgust. John F. Jungkook. This isn't your territory. Get off that car and take your circus with you, he said, shouting. Jungkook didn't even flinch. He sat up lazily, rolled his shoulders, and jumped off the hood with the grace of a panther. His boots landed with a crunch of the gravel. He fixed his jacket, adjusted his sleeves, and finally looked Seok-ho in the eye. Rule number one, he said coolly, calmly, lethal. Seok-ho squinted. No human trafficking. Seok-ho mocking laugh. You think you're some kind of hero now? You and I, we're enemies, John. Stay out of my goddamn business, Jungkook said, tilting his head. Enemy, yes, but even enemies have lines, Seok-ho. You crossed mine. The tension exploded like static in the air. Guards began shifting, reaching for weapons. The moon finally pierced through the clouds, casting silver light on the two men standing in the middle of a lonely forest road, like two kings of hell meeting for judgment. Minho, get the girls, he said, his voice sharp. Minho nodded. On it. And then chaos. Jungkook's men moved in fast. A brief gunfight erupted in the distance. But Jungkook didn't move. He stood firm, his eyes locked on Seok-ho like a storm barely contained. Minho ran toward the truck, his voice sharp and commanding. Open the damn doors. One of Jungkook's guards stepped up and broke the lock with a crowbar. The truck creaked open. Light flooded the caged space. "You're safe now. Come on, hurry, out," he said gently. One by one, the girls began crawling out, stumbling, trembling, barefoot and bruised. Minho's tone stayed calm, urging them with a strange kindness that didn't exist in the last 48 hours. Minho said to the girls, "You are okay now. You're alright. My men will take all of you to safety." Each girl was guided into the back seat of Jungkook's black SUVs. In the SUVs were blankets, water bottles, and soft voices awaited. "But not you. You hadn't moved." Still pressed into the corner of the truck, eyes tightly closed, hands pressed against your ears. Your world was still frozen in terror. Minho spotted you. "Hey, little one, it's okay now. You can come out," he said softly. He stepped inside the truck carefully, avoiding sudden movements. The other girls had gone quiet. "Hey, little one, we are here to help," Minho said, kneeling near you. But you couldn't hear him, or maybe you refused to believe it. The minute you felt someone close, your eyes snapped open and you screamed, scrambling backwards against the wall, kicking frantically. You panicked. "Don't touch me, don't touch me, I won't go with you. No, no, please." Your voice cracked, your body curled tighter. You were too far gone in fear. Minho's face dropped. He slowly raised both hands in surrender. "I'm not here to hurt you, okay? My name is Minho. I'm with the people who stopped them," he said calmly. "You didn't listen. You couldn't. Everyone had lied to you already. Everyone who said you're safe, you will be fine, they all ended up dragging you to hell." Minho sighed. He looked outside the truck, then at you. The other girls were already inside the cars. Jungkook's voice crackled through Minho's earpiece. "Did you get them all?" he said on calm. "All but one." He looked at you one last time, still trembling, still tucked into the corner like a broken bird. "Damn it, she thinks I'm one of them," he said to himself quietly. He stood up, turned towards the guard beside the SUVs. "Drive the others straight to the backup mansion. Keep 2 guards with them. Don't stop till you're inside the gates," he said firmly. "What about her?" Minho paused, then looked back at you, still trembling, still silent. "She's different," he said quietly, and without another word he jumped out of the truck and shut the doors behind him. The engines roared to life. The cars disappeared into the night, carrying everyone to safety. Everyone except you. Still sitting in the same spot, still waiting for someone you could believe in. The air was heavy with tension, the smell of gunpowder and forest earth mixed in the night, and the sound of the nearby river echoed softly in the distance. The headlights of the 3 sleek black cars glared through the fog, illuminating the dented old truck in the center of the dirt road. The girls had been rescued, chaos had erupted, men were bleeding, but amidst it all, inside the damn, suffocating truck, there you were, 16, frightened, knees pressed to your chest, curled into the farthest corner like a wounded deer. The blanket of your silence was thicker than the screams outside, your fingers stuffed in your ears as you tried to disappear into yourself. Jungkook had just finished taking down the last of the armed men. His black shirt was stained with dirt and blood, none of it his. His jaw was tense, posture sharp, the veins in his arms still prominent from the force he used moments ago. But then Minho tapped his shoulder, pointing at the back of the truck with a puzzled look. "One girl is still inside. She is not responding." Jungkook's brow furrowed. His steps were soundless as he climbed in, boots pressing against the creaking metal floor. But he didn't approach it yet. He watched the truck. The trembling soul inside it curled up in a corner. As soon as his eyes landed on your shivering figure, something inside him shifted, like the ground underneath had cracked, and for the first time in a long time his heart moved. He walked slowly towards you and crouched slowly in front of you, towering himself to your level, his breath soft and steady. The moment your trembling frame registered his presence, your body flinched hard, scooting further back until there was nowhere left to run. "Hey, relax," he whispered gently, his voice deep, husky, but tender, cut through the veil of panic in your mind. "You are safe now. I'm not going to hurt you, okay? No one is going to hurt you." His words, laced with something oddly soothing, reached your ears despite your attempts to block everything out. You hesitantly removed your hands just a little and looked up, and then everything changed. Your red, teary eyes met his dark ones, and for the first time in 24 years of his life, John Jungkook forgot the sound of gunfire, forgot the screams, forgot the rules. His breath caught in his throat as he stared into your eyes, red, glassy, terrified. The rest of the world dimmed. The truck, the night, the road, even Minho's hovering presence behind him all faded. Your face, tear streaked and fragile, stole the air from his lungs. He didn't know what this was, why he couldn't look away, why his chest felt tight, why his hands trembled with the overwhelming urge to protect. But he knew this was different. This wasn't pity, this wasn't guilt. This was something else. "You're okay now," he whispered again, softer this time. He slowly extended his hand and tucked a stray strand of hair behind your ear with surprising delicacy. Behind him, Minho scoffed in disbelief, his arms crossed. "I don't believe this," he muttered. "He never talks to anyone like that, never even look at people like that." Jungkook ignored him completely. His focus was only on you. "Here," he whispered, raising his hand slightly. Minho slightly placed a bottle of water and a folded blanket in his palm, like a soldier obeying a sacred order. Jungkook unscrewed the cap and offered it to your trembling lips. "Just a sip. You have been strong for too long." Carefully, he tilted the bottle, helping you drink. He smiled just a little when you started drinking water by his hand. After that, he placed the bottle on the ground and unfolded the blanket. Then he wrapped the soft blanket over your shoulders, wrapping it around you like armor. "Warm enough?" he asked, voice barely audible. You didn't speak, but the trembling slowed. Your eyes fluttered, and then, like a leaf giving in to the wind, your head fell gently against his chest. Your eyes closed, tears still clinging to your lashes as your body slumped into unconsciousness. You fainted due to crying for a long time and weakness. Jungkook's arms instinctively wrapped around your waist to hold you steady, his other hand lifted to brush your damp hair from your cheek. He stared at you, mesmerized, a ghost of a smile playing at the corner of his lips. "You fought so hard, little one," he murmured almost to himself. "You don't have to anymore." Mino stood at the edge of the truck, completely baffled. "This is unreal. Is this really you?" he muttered, half joking. Jungkook gave a long exhale and rolled his eyes before slowly standing, your delicate frame tucked into his arms like you weighed in nothing. "Shut up, Minho," he said under his breath, but his tone held no venom, only awe. Stepping out of the truck, he looked at the bloodied road, the shattered chaos, and the rescued girls in the vehicle ahead. But all that mattered now was you only. And for the first time, John Jungkook, the cold-blooded Mafia, the man feared by hundreds, felt something utterly terrifyingly beautiful. He didn't want to let go. As Jungkook stepped down from the truck, the cold moonlight painted his sharp features in silver. He moved with a calmness that didn't match the chaos around him, his black boots thudding lightly against the gravel road. In his arms you lay unconscious, fragile and pale like a petal lost in a storm. His brows twisted faintly as he adjusted the blanket wrapped securely around your trembling figure. Your tear-streaked cheeks, slightly flushed from crying, clung to his memory like a stubborn shadow. His jaw clenched as he walked past the wrecked truck, and the scattered cries of the rescued girls still echoing faintly in his mind. They all are safe, already being escorted away under guarded protection. But just as Jungkook reached the side of his sleek, matte black SUV, a loud growl of pain echoed from behind. John Jungkook, Seokho's voice roared into the darkness, blood dripping from his lips. A makeshift dagger gripped tight in his hand as he stumbled forward from behind the other truck, dragging a bruised leg. Jungkook didn't even blink. Still barking, he murmured under his breath, clearly unimpressed. As he carefully placed you against the passenger seat, his hand gently tugging a strand of hair behind your ear, he turned his head halfway. I am not done with you, Seok-ho growled, charging with whatever strength he had left. Jungkook rolled his eyes lazily. Neither am I with your sons. Without even turning fully, Jungkook slammed his leg backward in a clean, brutal motion, his heel crashing into Seok-ho's ribs with a sickening crunch. The man flew back, landing with a loud groan, coughing blood into the dust below. You stirred lightly in your sleep, your head rolling to the side, but Jungkook's hand was instantly there, soothing your forehead with a whisper so gentle it didn't match the rage in his other eye. Minho, he called, his voice calm but commanding. Minho, who was already walking towards them, his coat flapping behind him and a cold smirk on his lips, nodded immediately. On it, boss. Let me handle this trash. Jungkook gave him a knowing glance. Don't kill him yet. You never let me have fun. Mino scoffed, already grabbing Syoko by the collar and dragging him like a rag doll towards the trees. Come on, boss said no mercy, but also no murder. Guess I'll just break a few more ribs. Make sure he remembers the rule number one. Jungkook muttered, clicking a seat belt across your chest. Minho grinned without turning back. Human trafficking, unforgivable. As the door clicked shut, Jungkook paused. His dark eyes wandered over your peaceful sleeping face. The terror you had lived through still lingered in your clenched fist and swollen eyelids. He reached over and carefully uncurled your fingers from the blanket, placing them gently over your lap. His heart gave a strange tug. He wasn't used to this kind of silence, not the kind that made him want to protect it. You're not like the others, he whispered, more to himself than to you. And I don't know what it means yet, but I'll find it out. He sat behind the wheel and started the engine. A soft melody played from the stereo, calm, a lullaby, almost something rare for him. As he began driving through the moonlight road, tires crunching against gravel, he caught one last glimpse of Minho slamming Seokho's head against the tree bark before disappearing into the forest. Jungkook's lips curved into a half smile. Serves him right. But as his gaze returned to you, his smile melted into something softer. His foot eased off the accelerator, slowing slightly. He didn't want the ride to end so soon. He didn't know where this connection would take him, only that it had begun deeply and irreversibly on a night surrounded by trees, blood, and moonlight. And for the first time in 24 years of his life, John Jungkook felt something that wasn't rage.